It's Eclipse is back again. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the choice with Kenny versus Jane. Um, I'm not going to be talking about this part exactly. I'm going to be talking about the next season, season 3. And I kind of hope that there's some comments that kind of agree with me with this. Um, in the very next season after this, as we all know, Jane and Kenny dies no matter what you do. Kenny dies in a car crash and Clementine is driving and Kenny does not wear a seatbelt. You go to Jane, and Jane kills herself after finding out that she's pregnant. So, the way that they could have lived in season 3 is what I think. To have the choices impacted from season 2 into 3, yes, I get that you're playing as a different character, Harvey, season 3, A New Frontier. Um, and you partly play as Clementine. But there's this scene where you return to David's camp in episode 2, I think, towards the end. What if, depending on what you chose, Kenny or Jane, depending on what you chose, get is like best friends with David? Like, I'm not talking about Ava. I'm not talking about like other characters. Let's just say that one of them becomes friends with David. And so then depending on your choices, one will live and one will be throughout the whole season. Or two, this moment, one of them will die, and then that's that one of them will be over for like 4 episodes at least. Like they could have been on it. What I'm saying is they should have been at the camp. Yes, yes, I get it's a big choice. I get that. But what they could have done is that if you make this choice, make your choices matter. And if you don't real and if they didn't want Clementine there for the whole time, we can actually see Kenny or Jane in a group without Clementine. Let's say you left Clementine behind and you let her run off. Depending on your choices, she would not have seen Kenny or Jane depending on your choices. Let's say Kenny and Jane arrived before Clementine left when she got kicked out by AJ. And they're there at the camp. But I say this because it's only one season. Whoever you chose would need to die at the end of that season. So during the whole impact, where like Kate crashes into the wall, the whole thing that happens with Trip and Ava. What if, depending on your choices again, one of them saves Clementine and kind of like sacrifices themselves to help them, but they die no matter what. There's no choice to bring them back. There's no anything. They just die helping Clementine. It should have been that. I feel like they should have been around at least to kind of impact the game a little bit at and to make us a little bit there without choices in season 2. But I get that they can't be in the final season, but they could have at least been there. I feel like the characters could have been different. Because I mean, they haven't seen Clementine in probably a few years. Probably. And so like depending on your choices too, a Clementine could be like a hardened survivor. And let's say, depending on what you chose, again, Clementine would be more on her own, and it's like whatever choices she makes, a Kenny and Jane, well, this is the opposite. It's gonna be shoot Kenny, but it's the opposite. But I chose to let Jane live. But I'm just using this as an example, the choice thing. But yeah, I think I kept Jane alive at first. I know that people are gonna be upset and all that, like, oh hey, why didn't you save Kenny? I made a Kenny, like a Team Kenny choice thing. So yeah, that's already on my YouTube channel. I'm saying that my original gameplay, I saved Jane. It was hard to, but I mean, Kenny was one of my favorite characters throughout season 1 and 2. But I feel like they could have done something different to impact the choices that you made in season 2. Yeah, Clementine may not be there all the time. I feel like Kenny or Jane, depending on what you do, they would just support Clementine's choices throughout season 3 and just let her be, basically. And I feel like they just ruined it, killing them both in one episode in a flashback. In a flashback. They could have done more with the characters. Like, I mean, Kenny could have been in the room with when they killed Max and Badger. Ima- Imagine Jane being there with the whole Max and Badger thing. Would have been cool, but I mean, like, Jane would probably get along with Ava. Um, David's lieutenant. That could have happened, but I feel like they could have done better with the choices with the Kenny and Jane thing. But yeah. Anyways, I'll see you next one, and bye.